Good day, Toronto. Welcome to yet another episode of Toronto Real Estate Street Talk with Riyaz Rauf. Today, I'm here to present to you about how the market performed in the month of September in 2022. We just got the results and there's a lot being spoken about how the market is performing. And of course, we have had another decline in sales volumes. So let's look at what the market challenges are at this point in time. A lot of people talk about a crash, but I don't believe it, and I only think that there is a lot of hype about what's going to happen. The prices did stabilize in August, and we are seeing an upward movement at this point in time. I don't see there's going to be a month-over-month decline in prices anymore. We had appreciation in August and we also had in September. So let's look at what we are speaking about. Let's look at Toronto, what's going on. The interest rates went up to 3.50. At 350% up. Our interest rates were 0.25 and now it's at 3.25%, the Bank of Canada rates. So that's a rapid increase from March to October. It went up by 350%. That's a huge increase. Now, with that follows the stress test, which was around 5.25 in February, March, and now it's around 7.25. In other words, when you check with your mortgage brokers, they'll tell you more accurately about these things. I can give you only rough figures. A person who was qualified to buy a $1 million home in March or in February is able to buy only at $860,000 at this point in time. So in other words, everybody's purchasing power has come down at least by 15% in terms of going for a new mortgage. So when we look at that, the purchasing power of a person has come down due to the stress test, the mortgageable amount by at least 15%. So when you look at that, you expect prices to be down by at least 15%. Now what we are looking at is price year over year in September 2022. We had a minus 4.3%. Our prices dropped to 4.3% in the month of September compared to last year September. That is the average price. However, when you look at the housing price index, compare it with last year, the housing price index went up by the same amount, which was 4.3%. The housing price index takes into account all factors of a house, the features and availability and the other criteria, which is about so many other criteria that comes into play rather than only the average price. So I think the price index is a more accurate figure to look at. However, in the past, I have always spoken about the average price. So I will stick to the average price and I will accept that the market has declined by, the price has declined by 4.3%. Or in other words, we are looking at a decline in real terms of $48,000. However, when you look at month over month, this month our house prices were 1,086,762, and last month we were at 1,079,705, which was a 1% appreciation over last month. So when we are looking at month over month, we are looking at a 1% increase in prices. And when we are looking at year over year, September to September, we are looking at a 4.3% decline in the prices. And if you are looking at the home price index, we are looking at a positive 4.3%. Now, this is more important. the average price in September. Detached homes declined by 10.2%, semi-detached declined by 6.5%, townhomes declined by 1%, and condos appreciated by 3.2%. If we go by home price index, in September, we had a 4.25 appreciation in all categories. In the detached category, we had an appreciation of 1.9%. In the semi-detached category, we had an appreciation of 3.6%. And in the townhomes, we had a 8% appreciation in prices. And look what happens to condos. The home price index appreciated by 13%, 13.3%. Then let's look at the home price index year to date in the last 9 months where it is. Detached homes has appreciated by 12.1%, semi-detached by 14.5%, townhomes by 16.9%, and condos by 14%. So when you look at year-to-date appreciation, that's include from January to September, you are looking at 12% on detached homes, semi-detached at 14.5, townhomes at 16.9, and condos at 14%. That's a reasonable appreciation to talk about. Again, still people are not convinced that we are not going in for a crash, where they look at a lot of factors and we keep on picking on the negatives and try to keep talking on the negative without looking at the positive. Let's look at the positive for a moment. Months of inventory. As we all know, when you have 0 to 4 months, it's a seller's market. When we have 5 to 6 months stocks or inventory, it's a balanced market. And we have 7 months are over, it's a buyer's market. Let's see how it looks like in the month of September 2021 and September 2022. So we are going to compare the inventory that's available in the market at present, 2021 versus 2022. This is for this year and this is for last year. The entire Toronto last year this time had only 1 month's inventory. In other words, if nobody puts a new property into the market, in 1 month, the stocks are 0, there's nothing available. This month, when we are looking at, we are at 1.4 months inventory in the market. That's a very low figure. If you look at Halton region, last year we were at 0.7, less than 1%, one month. This year we are at 1.3. Peel, last year was 0.8, this year was 1.3 month stocks in the market. Toronto Central region, 1.4 months inventory last year, 1.6 months inventory this year. York region, 1.2 months inventory last year, and this year 1.6 months inventory, still less than two months inventory. To be in the balanced market, you need 5 months inventory. We are still not even close to 4. In Durham, The city that I live in, last year's inventory 0.5, only half a month's inventory. This year it's only 1 month inventory in the market. The lowest in the region is Durham. Toronto West, 1.8 inventory last year, it's 1.8 this year too. Toronto East, the inventory last year was 0.8 and this year was 1.1. Friends, let's be serious about it. It's true, properties are not selling, and so far we have sold about 40,000 less than what we used to sell in the Toronto real estate market, and we'll end up the year with about 45,000 minus compared to last year. However, we are also going to finish the year with at least 50,000 year over year appreciation in average price, not home price index, the average price. That's why even although it's not working in my favor, I still keep using the average price, because by the end of the year we are going to be at least minimum 50,000 up year over year in Toronto real estate. So far we got 1,079,000 is the average price, and we have 96,904 sales at this point in time, year to date average. And that compared last year and this year we have 1,212,000 as year to date average. Again, let me repeat, year to date average January to September last year was 1,079,000. This year so far is 1,212,000. In terms of volumes, last year we were at 96,000 or 97,000. This year we are at 62,600. So it's very important to understand that, and we have a huge inventory problem, and the reason is there are not many people putting their properties out for sale. On the other hand, some of the properties that are in the market are also not getting sold because people are waiting for the right time to pitch. And my advice is, I always give a time, it's between December 7th to March 7th is a golden opportunity to buy. Let's look at few facts comparing 2022 to 2021. It will be very interesting to see what happened last year this time in the economy and what's happening now this year in the economy. In the month of September, HPI, Home Price Index, this year is 4.3% plus. Last year it was 19.1% plus. Employment growth or job creation this year is 4.7, because we have increased the interest rates and we are controlling the expenditure and also expansion of businesses, and this is expected. However, last year it was 9.1%. Let's look at the interesting part, unemployment. This shows how strong the economy is. Unemployment at this point in time in Toronto is 5.9%. Last year this time 9.3% were unemployed. That's partly because we are coming out of COVID and there are a lot of retrenching that happened in COVID, and people were coming into the market in COVID, and that's the very reason why our employment growth is also more, because more and more people were beginning to come back to their old jobs. Now let's look at inflation. Inflation this year is 7%, and last year this time was 4.1% inflation. Bank of Canada, the rate this year is 3.25, which is 350% more than last year's 0.25. Prime rate today is around 5.5%. Last year this time 2.45. Stress test last year this year 5.25. My apologies, it's 7.50 this year, and last year it was 5.25. 7.25. I made a mistake there. So the stress test this year is at 7.5 approximately. Last year this time it was 5.25 price. This year there was an average price decline of 4.3%. Last year there was an average price appreciation of 18%. However, it's very interesting to know when it comes to volumes, this year we had a 44% decline in sales or volume. Last year we had a 18% decline in volume. Now, the reason I'm taking the trouble to explain all this is to show that things are not as bad as what is being projected. The people have to understand the figures behind it. Yes, there is a war going on. Yes, there is inflation. Yes, there is real inflation with food prices and energy prices. However, life has to go on. This is a cycle, a correction cycle that as far as Toronto is concerned, it has already corrected itself, is my humble opinion. And also Toronto is totally different to Canada and any parts of Canada and any part of the other parts of the world. So please keep tuning in and keep forwarding these to your friends and family, and tell them to subscribe, and also ring the bell icon, and we'd greatly appreciate your comments and suggestions. And we look forward to the next time that we can have another presentation. And thank you very much for your time, and have an awesome day. It's extremely important to understand that I am giving my opinions here as a realtor and an investor, serving myself, my family, and my friends. It's also important to understand while talking about real estate, obviously we will be talking about legal side, finances, and taxes. However, I am not an expert on those, and I urge you to seek expert advice when it comes to those three matters.